Okay, so you're launching a new product. You are absolutely laser focused on getting it into the hands of customers, right? But what if the very strategy you're using is missing its most critical piece right from the start? Today, we're going to dive into the 2025 playbook for building search engine optimization, or SEO, into the very heart of your go-to-market strategy. And you're about to see why this is no longer just a nice-to-have, it's essential for survival.
First things first, let's talk about the stakes, because they are incredibly high. Bringing a new product to market is insanely tough, and way too many companies fall into a really common and, frankly, a very expensive trap. Now, this number should stop you in your tracks. According to some pretty serious research from McKinsey, for every single successful product launch you see, 4 others fail. And not just kind of miss the mark. I mean, they fail completely. That is a staggering 80% failure rate. So you have to ask, what's the common link here? What's going wrong?
Well, here it is. This is the thread that ties so many of those failures together. For years, the standard playbook has been build the product, plan the big launch, and then, almost as a final checkbox, someone in a meeting goes, oh, hey, maybe we should, do some SEO? But by then, it's almost always too late. You've basically lost the race before the starting gun even fired.
And just so we're all on the same page here, when we say a go-to-market or GTM strategy, what we're talking about is the master plan. It's the whole shebang. Who's your audience? What makes you special? And how are you actually going to get customers? It's the blueprint for your entire launch.
So this is the big, fundamental shift we have to make. Instead of just tacking SEO on at the very end, we need to completely flip the script. We need to build our entire go-to-market strategy right on top of it, making it a foundational pillar from day one.
And when you make this shift, you get these 3 huge advantages. First, your cost to get a new customer actually goes down over time. Second, you get this compounding visibility. I mean, think about it. A paid ad, it's gone the second you stop paying. But a top-ranking article, that can bring you leads for years. And third, you get this priceless market intelligence from search data that literally tells you what your customers want in their own words. Okay, so we get the why. Now let's get into the how. It really starts with adopting what we call a search-first mindset. And that mindset is guided by 3 simple but powerful rules that will totally change how you see your market.
First up is the 95-5 rule. This one is so critical, especially in B2B. At any given time, only about 5% of your potential market is actually ready to buy something. The other 95%, they're just learning, researching, becoming aware of their problem. So if your entire strategy is just sales pitches aimed at that tiny 5%, you are completely ignoring the massive majority of your future business.
Next, you've got the 80-20 rule. You might know it as the Pareto principle. For SEO, this means you don't have to rank for every keyword under the sun. The reality is, about 80% of your valuable traffic is going to come from just 20% of your keywords. The trick is to find that golden 20% early and focus all your firepower right there. And finally, there's the rule of 7. It's an old marketing idea that says a person needs to interact with your brand about 7 times before they're ready to make a purchase. A search-first strategy is perfect for this. It naturally creates those touch points. Someone might find an educational blog post, then a week later a deep dive guide, then a comparison article, all powered by search, guiding them along their journey to you.
All right, with those 3 rules as our guide, let's get practical. Let's turn this into a concrete plan of action. This is the playbook for actually weaving search into how your teams execute, day in and day out.
And we can even map this back to the classic 4 Ps of marketing. For product, you can use search volume data to see if people are even looking for what you're building. For price, search queries like affordable software versus enterprise platform give you real clues. For place, well, in today's world, place is the search results page. And for promotion, you're building assets that grow in value over time, not just burning cash on ads that disappear.
So how do you actually execute this? Well, a really successful search-first strategy boils down to 3 core components that have to work in perfect harmony. We call them the 3 C's of SEO.
The first C is content. And listen, this is not just about writing blog posts, it's about strategically creating content that answers your customers' most pressing questions in every single stage of their journey. From, I think I have a problem, all the way to, okay, which one of these should I buy?
The second C is code. This is the technical stuff, the foundation of your house. You could have the most amazing, world-changing content, but if your website is slow, looks terrible on a phone, or is basically invisible to Google, nobody is ever going to see it. This is the non-negotiable plumbing that makes sure everything else works.
And the final C is credibility. This is all about building trust and authority. You see, search engines want to promote sources they see as credible, and they measure that with things like links from other well-respected sites and signals that show your experience, your expertise, your authoritativeness, and your trustworthiness, what Google calls EEAT.
Now, getting these 3 C's right has never been more important. Why? Because the very definition of search is changing right under our feet. We absolutely have to look ahead to what's coming next if we want to stay in the game.
And this slide really nails the change. For years, traditional SEO was all about one thing: getting your website to show up in that list of 10 blue links so someone would click it. The new game, it's called Generative Engine Optimization, or GOE. And the goal here is totally different. It's about getting your brand and your information cited inside the AI-generated answer itself. It's about becoming part of the answer.
So how do you actually do that? Well, these tactics should look pretty familiar, right? It all comes back to creating high-quality, authoritative content, answering questions clearly and directly, using your technical code, like structured data, to give the AI models more context, and building that credibility. See? The fundamentals of the 3 C's are exactly what you need to be prepared for this future.
So as we wrap this up, this is the one question you really need to ask yourself and your team. In 2025 and beyond, is your go-to-market strategy built for search, or is it, by default, built to fail? Because a strategy that treats search as an afterthought isn't just inefficient anymore, it's a recipe for disaster. Building it on a foundation of search, that's not just an option, that's how you win.